Here we go with a nice practical application question. And read the question. It says a rectangular TV tray. Well, okay, here's my rectangular TV tray. Blah, 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 blah. Has a diameter of 52. So I'm going from this corner all the way up to this corner over here. That's 52 centimeters. All right. It says the length of the tray. So we're looking at this guy right here. Okay. It is 12 centimeters more than the width. So the length is 12 centimeters more than the width. So that must make this the width. And how are we going to solve this? Because it asks you, what's the dimensions of the TV tray? I don't know. Well, one of the cool things you have to realize here is this is, yep, check it out. Check it out. I know what you're going to say. Oh, yes. This is a right angle triangle, and you can use Pythagoras. So I'm going to write this so it looks a little bit prettier. I'm going to write this as W plus 12 because I'd rather have it that way than this way. Okay, so what do? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So there's my A squared, so that's W squared, plus my B squared, which is this, of course, W plus 12 squared. And this is 152, or sorry, 52 squared. Okay, so could you do me the favor, though? When you're doing a question like this, I've seen so many students mess this up. They take this W plus 12 and they say that's squared. And that works out to be W squared plus 144. Wrong, no. The reason why is because that's squared, meaning W plus 12 times W plus 12. And if you use FOIL, right? First, which gives you W squared, there's 12W and 12W, which gives you 24W, and finally last gives you 144. If you do it this method, which is completely wrong, you miss out on the middle term. There is no middle term. Well, yes, there is. You have to include that as well. So knowing that now, let's take this one more step here. Okay, here we go. Here's your W squared. Here's this one over here, which we just found out was W squared plus 24W plus 144. And this actually has to equal to 52 squared. Now, wait a second. I want to boot up the calculator and see what 52 squared is. Watch this. Boop. There's 52 squared. 2704. 2704. So I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to put in my 2704 right here. There we go. Beautiful. Now, let's just do some combining and solving a few things and see what we can come up with. First things first, I'm going to bring the 2704 to this side. So that means I'm going to take 144 and I'm going to subtract 2704. So 144, I'm going to subtract 2704. That gives me minus 2560. Okay, minus 2560 on this side. Minus 2560 on this side. This guy and this guy can combine to give me 2W squareds. Okay, this is still plus 24W, and everybody's happy. This equals to 0. Now that it's equal to 0 is the time I can finally solve it. But don't forget, make life simple. Look for a GCF first every single time. And you'll notice that this guy can actually be divided out by 2. When you divide out one side, you divide out the other side by 2. It all cancels, leaving you W squared plus 12W. Now, 2560, if you can't do that in your head, just do this. Divide it by 2 on your calculator, and you come up with 1280. So minus 1280. Look at this. Beautiful. Equals to 0. Now, you could try to PSA this, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I'm going to go directly into completing the square on this guy. And oh, I just missed it too much. There we go. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. So let's complete the square. Because completing the square, actually, in this case, is a lot quicker and more efficient. All right. So I know I can't take anything out of there, but magic number is plus 6. Okay, squared becomes plus 36, means I have to subtract 36 out here. Do you remember how to do that? Okay, so this is W plus 6 squared. So 1280 minus 36 now. There's 1280, and I'm going to subtract out the 36. Subtract the 36, giving me 1316. Minus 1316. Okay, equals to 0. Beautiful. All right, let's keep on going. Bring the 1316 over to the other side. So you got w plus 6 squared equals to 1316 on the other side. Now, I'm kind of curious, is 1316 square rootable? Let's bring up this calculator here. Now, remember, you can't do it from here because, of course, you didn't bring this minus 1316 over to the other side. Okay, so go in and just take the square root of positive 1316. Okay, right? Because you had to bring the minus over to the other side, making it a positive. That ends up being, oh, ugly, 36.27. So 36.28. That's what we're after, 36.28. So you got w plus 6 equals to 30, what was it again? 36.28. 36.28. All right, so remember, this guy is now, again, because he's square rooted, it's a plus or minus. Okay, so let's keep on going and solve this thing and finally end this long battle with completing the squares. Okay, so you have w plus 6 equals to positive 36 plus 2.28. You got w plus 6 equals to minus 36.28. All you have to do now is subtract 6 from both sides. There we go, canceling this out to give you w equals to 30.28, and that would be 30.28 centimeters. Okay, so there's your width. Or subtract 6 from this and subtract 6 from this, giving you a w equals to minus 42.28 centimeters. Wait a second. Can you have a minus for an answer? Not in terms of length, you can't. Aha. So that minus one is actually garbage. We actually have a word for that. I'm going to mouse all the way to the top to show you. Okay? That word is actually called extraneous. If you've got a solution, right, that doesn't work, you actually call it extraneous, extra, right? Now, do you remember the length? I don't, so I'm going to mouse back down here and get it. 30.28 centimeters. There's the 30.28 centimeters. That's our width. 30.28 centimeters. Our length has to be 12 centimeters more than that. So this works out to be 42.28 centimeters. And there's your dimensions of your TV tray.